Well,
Hi, this is Sid, and this is AMA, Ask Me Anything. Elsa, you have the first question. Do you want to verbalize it?
Morning, Sid. Yes, well, in the absence of any questions, I thought I'd ask you how Burning Man was and how many emails did you come back to after a week off?
Yeah, thanks for that. Burning Man was good. It was very comfortable, but also, yeah, after a couple of days, Karen was like, yeah, kind of been enough. So we headed home, and we took the long route home, which was kind of fun because we stopped in Snowflower Lake in Tahoe, and we did a hike, and we saw rattlesnake. So that was that's something I never seen before. And I came home to 36 emails, but that's because Sherry highlights the emails I should definitely answer. So that was easier. And I'll see if I can get a picture of the rattlesnake, whether that works.
Oh, that'd be cool. And 36 emails is nice after a week off.
Yeah, it's not bad. Daniel, you have the next one.
Yes, thank you, Sid. Yeah, 36 emails sounds exceedingly nice. So with VMware's recent acquisitions of both Pivotal and Carbon Black, do you think that they are also positioning themselves to be a competitor just like GitHub is? And if so, does this change anything for us, or should we be doubling down on any of those areas?
For anyone skipping directly to this part of the conversation, the rattlesnake is not related to this question, but the previous question. But here it is. No, I think what Pivotal, what VMware is doing is building a very solid Kubernetes platform. And I think it's codenamed. The code name starts with a T. I don't think it's Tango. I don't think it's Tarzan.
Tanzu.
Tanzu. Thank you. They're building a very compelling Kubernetes offering, and I'm sure some people will add in some links of the latest news there, but they're basically want to manage your Kubernetes wherever it are, whether it is in VMware or any of the kind of hyper-cloud Kubernetes offerings. And they're allowing you to run vSphere and Kubernetes kind of side by side, or have the developer interface with the Kubernetes part, have the IT department manage it like it's a vSphere, which makes a lot of sense. And they did that before with OpenStack. I don't think that became a really big success, but it seems that this time they're really serious about it. So I think we should, VMware is a partner for us, just like any Kubernetes provider. And they want people to use their Kubernetes solution, and we should make sure that the easiest way to use it is to install that and run GitLab on top. Anything I could elaborate on, Daniel?
Nope, that was pretty clear, and yeah, I think that that has to be a focus for us as well. I just wonder, with Carbon Black and all the Pivotal software development tools that they have, if you feel that that's in any way kind of a move to do the same thing we're trying to do.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Carbon Black is an endpoint security thing. So that doesn't compete with any of our offerings. We don't do endpoints. We don't secure your phone or your laptop. So I don't think that's very competitive. Now, they might have things that overlap with us. I think they have Concourse CI, for example, but I don't think that's where VMware is taking their claim of like, this is really important to us. I think what's really important for them is for their Kubernetes offering to become very popular in the marketplace, and I think we can help. So although there's always a little bit of where companies overlap, I don't think we overlap a lot. And I think we can partner. And in any way, even if we overlap with people, we'll always look at the part where we don't overlap and collaborate there. As far as I've heard, they're doing the same.
That makes sense. Thank you, Sid.
Mark Ruggie, any updates?
No, this is Mark Robinson. Sorry, it's all good.
Sorry.
There's a bunch of Marks out there. So no, just wanted to figure out if there's any updates on our wonderful GitLab annual summit. So see if there was any announcements, what you're allowed to share, what you can share. So it's an AMA, so I decided to ask anyway, because there's a lot of speculation going out there.
That's good. The only information I have is that I think I know what city we're going to, but I don't think I'm allowed to tell. So
okay.
And I must say I'm very not involved with the process, and I think it's a bit it's a moving target. I think, although I'm not sure that they switch the city out. I haven't heard about it in the last month, so even I'm not very involved.
Okay.
I trust the team with that.
There you go. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks for asking. And everyone, it's an AMA, so ask me anything. I might not answer, but ask me anything, especially like conversation, anything contentious, and more fun.
Hey.
Lucas, you want to ask?
Yeah, sure. Which feature are you missing the most? What bug is annoying you the most on GitLab.com at the moment?
Oh, that's always a good one. I've been thinking a lot about how we should do monitoring with GitLab. It's not so much a bug. So I'll first talk about that and then talk about a bug. We should use our own tools. We should dog food. On our latest release post, even someone came out, pasted a comment like, "You're not even using your own things," and right on, like totally legitimate, and we should fix that. And I think right now we bet on Prometheus for monitoring. I think that's totally working out. I think we're struggling with the visualization. We're now doing that ourselves with eCharts. It's going well, but it's daunting to make like a complete Grafana replacement. And there's three options: like not do that and say, oh, well, the charts in GitLab are always going to be of a lighter, more beautiful, but not as customizable. Or say, hey, we're going to go for it. We're going to do the maximum with eCharts, and we're going to make this a complete Grafana replacement. Or say, okay, we're going to take Grafana, we're going to make sure we can iframe embed it in GitLab, and that you have all the power of Grafana. I'm not sure which is the right choice, which is rare. Normally, I think I might be, I'm wrong a lot, but I think I have the answers. I don't even think I have a working answer, but for sure we need to look into this, because having a half solution is not a great road to get there. So something I've been thinking about, absolutely don't have a clue what we should do, and I'm going to talk with Kenny and Scott in the coming week about what to do there. Regarding bugs, one stuck out, and it's a user interface bug. Someone signed up for GitLab. Maybe I should show it. Let me start a not signed in browser. Hopefully, I know the keyboard shortcut for that, which apparently I don't. Oh, I do. Let me share my screen. So I go to GitLab. Should be better. And I say I want to register a new account. This person reported doing this on mobile, filling out all the different steps, and then realizing there was a sign up with other services. And like that could have saved him or her like a lot of time. And I'm not sure what to do about it, because I'm not sure, maybe we should put these things above that field, or maybe not. I'm not sure what best practice is, or maybe we should have a small thing like, hey, you can also sign in with other services, see below. I'm not sure what the best solution is, but maybe we should do something about it. Also, I find it really weird that if I do sign in with other services, it has a remember me thing here. Like, if you're already signed in with these other services, then I think it's kind of unlikely you're using like a shared computer. But I'm not sure if it's really a problem and what other services do. So I'm not sure about the solution to both, but it kind of stuck in my mind. What I'm personally facing a lot is that I apply suggestions. So I apply a suggestion, and then it doesn't refresh automatically. I have to reload the page in order to merge the branch. That seems to be going wrong a lot. So 3 bugs for the price of 1 question. Thanks for asking. Matt, you want to verbalize your question?
Yeah, thanks, Sid. I was curious from your perspective when we're talking to customers or users and they're asking about the roadmap. I know we have a great direction maturity page, but just what are some good examples maybe we could point to from your opinion on when we started working on a feature and when it was released, so they can kind of have a data point, so it'll kind of help us with those conversations?
Yeah. Philippe Laconfiere came by last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, the week before I went on PTO. And he said the previous DEF CON, DEF CON is an annual security summit. He told people he was from GitLab, and everyone was like, what, GitHub? This time he came to the vendor booth and they saw he was from GitLab, and they removed the keyboards so he could not test their product because they were afraid of us competing. So in the span of 1 year, we went from somebody people didn't even know,
yep,
to an organization that is taking their customers. And that is definitely on their radar. So I think that's how fast we're able to go sometimes.
Okay, yeah, and I like the CI/CD and considering how we've gotten to where we have there. I just didn't know if there's any other feature or functionality we could point to say, here's where we were, and now we're doing really well in the space, and it took 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. Just because as they're investing in our future, I think that helps them. But
yeah, so Philippe is in the comments that it's Black Hat rather than DEF CON. You want to tell the story, Philippe? Maybe it resonates a bit more.
You told it already perfectly well. Yeah, it's more Black Hat than DEF CON. DEF CON is a bit wider than what Black Hat is. Black Hat is probably more business than what DEF CON is. So yeah, basically last year we were completely unknown, and everyone agreed to give us some demos, to give us some numbers, to give us some insights about what they were doing. This year that was completely different. I was, because I was on my own this year, I was perfectly known as GitLab. They knew exactly who we were, what we were doing. Some of them were seeing us as competitors, and some of them were seeing us as partners, but in the end, they know exactly what we're doing in the security space. So that's a great sign that what we're doing is finally giving some results, and we're getting recognized out there.
Excellent, thanks.
Welsh, you want to verbalize your question?
Absolutely. Thanks. Hi, Sid. I'm certainly not a global economist, and I'm not expecting that you are either. Looking at listening to the news and listening to a lot of points of a downturn in the global economy, and again, no prediction on my part, and certainly not expecting one on your part, but how does that make you think about our plans to go public in November of next year? Does that give you some angst? Does that start you thinking in a different direction, or just what are your thoughts on it at this point based off of some projections way out?
Yeah, we're on a public live stream, so I'll keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
So we strive to become a public company next year, so that means either an IPO or direct listing. Sometimes the IPO window is shut because you cannot raise any capital. Like the market is so volatile and the interest is so low that people hold on to their shares. They don't want to take losses, but they don't want to invest in new companies. So in case we need to raise money, we certainly then have a problem of not being able to become a public company. Suppose we raise earlier and we do a direct listing, it's a bit uncharted territory, kind of listing when the IPO window is closed, but still listing a company. No one's ever done that before. So that would be highly controversial. So not sure whether we do that. It probably depends a bit of whether the IPO window is a little bit closed or very, very close to ram shut. And then we can't go out either. I worry about it from the perspective as we need enough cash in GitLab to be able to realize our plans. Whether we become a public company next year, it's a goal we strive towards, but suppose it's not possible because of the economy, it's not the end of the world. Our ambition was to go public very early in kind of the company life cycle, still growing at a high percentage rate. If we don't meet that goal, other than people say, well, you posted a goal, you didn't meet it. There's not like, it's not that the company is gonna be very adversely affected. It's just that we set an expectation with ourselves, with our investors, and we missed it, and we'll be accountable for that. But there's nothing that inherently kind of causes problems for our customers or our future growth. Does that answer your question?
It did, and then some. And I appreciate your transparency and being able to put you a little bit on the spot in a public forum here. But everybody, I'm sure, including yourself, is starting to think about that a year from now. So really appreciate your perspective on that. That's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And feel free to put me on the spot. It's called Ask Me Anything, and not Sid will answer anything. Amanda, you want to verbalize your question?
Hey, Sid. Yeah, thanks. I'm just wondering, what do you say when users complain or state that we're spending too much time releasing new features and not enough time optimizing or fixing the existing ones?
Yeah, the immediate answer would also be, oh, what is the existing feature you care about that we're not investing enough time in? Our PMs, our product managers, have the job to kind of make a good trade-off between investing in existing features, new features, security fixes, reducing technical debt, other initiatives, and they have to make that trade-off, and we don't always get it right. And we should ask about what they're unhappy with and make sure that gets back to the PM, preferably by like leaving a comment in the issue or pinging the PM in a public channel. And we don't always get it right. Now, you can imagine that if you're an existing customer of GitLab, you care a lot about improving the existing features. If we would have done that years ago, it would have still be version control because everyone was asking for make version control better. We want GitLab to do everything, and that means biting off new scope, but it shouldn't come at the detriment of like making the existing functionality better. And we've had a window, a couple of months, where our version control was really like falling behind the version control of our competitors, and that wasn't good. We remedied that, and I think we're now back on track, but we don't always make the right trade-off. So the thing is, listen to the customers, inform the PMs, and at the same time, it will always be existing customers tend to lean more on existing features, and that's natural. That is in their best interest. It's in our interest to listen to that, and at the same time keep pushing to be that end-to-end solution we think is the best solution for everyone going forward. And most of the people that are going to be our customer in 3 years from now are not our customer today. So we got to keep in mind that there's still a whole world to win there. Did that answer your question, or anything I can follow up on, Amanda?
Yeah, that's great. I think just to add additional color, many times when we get this complaint and support, I see that the user hasn't even upvoted the issue or added additional comments. So we're constantly trying to educate the user, like, use your voice via these means in the issue. Maybe in the future we could do a blog post about, how to get your voice recognized or something that we can even point to that might help.
Yeah, that might help, and it's great. like get the user to do it. Also, don't be afraid to be the voice of the customer in those issues, and point them to like how you were advocating on their behalf. And I think blog posts like, hey, this is how someone kind of raised an issue, this is how it got resolved, would be great. I think we're one of the few companies that really has like an open issue tracker where RPMs work primarily out of that. You have kind of, you're on an equal playing field with everyone else. I think that's counterintuitive for people. Most of the time, these public facing ones are kind of like some sideshow. For us, it's the primary show. And I think every time we can make sure that customers understand that, it helps, and it makes them understand that they're being heard when they're posting and things like that. So that's a great idea. Thank you for that. Novello, you want to verbalize your question? Still working on it. Skipping to Taylor.
No, I'm there. Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. Sorry. So under question 4, you had mentioned that monitoring is the area that you'd like to see improve most for GitLab. In, I guess, a go-to-market strategy and so forth, do you have a preferred vendor in the APM space that you'd like to work with along the way as we advance in this area?
Yeah. Our ambition, thanks for the question. Our ambition is to be an APM vendor. So we're not going to work with other vendors. We're going to look at what great products are out there and make sure that GitLab does the same things out of the box. So products we want to replace are products like Datadog, New Relic, SignalFx. That's what we're going after. So a collaboration doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe on the short term, it could make sense, but I think long term will be competitive. One exception might be the makers of Grafana. That might be a partnership because we're going to we might use their technology to make GitLab better, and it's a building block for us. We're not going to partner. We should just make a great, compelling, better offering.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Taylor.
Yeah. So I'm curious if you kind of consider yourself an absolutist around the idea that everyone can contribute. Are there any kind of caveats to that or unspoken ideas around that philosophy?
Great. I don't consider myself an absolutist. I consider myself a utilitarian, taking into account second-order effects. Our number one company value is results, so we'll do whatever generates results. So thanks for the question. Things I can think about, obviously, like if people contribute something, it has to meet our definition of done. It has to be something other people want. An exception might be when the IP situation of like they contributing code, but we're not totally sure whether they have the rights to kind of to the code they're contributing. It might taint their product with copyrighted code. I could also see a very tricky situation if we have people who are like, say, employed by the North Korean government, contributing code to the security functionality of GitLab. I think that would warrant a lot of code review, and that might be, we might end up deciding that it's like not worth the risk inherent in something like that. Other than that, I can't think of any exceptions, but I'm sure there are exceptions. I don't think we've ran into them. Cool, we're at time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the questions. Appreciate it. Have a good week.